Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the learning of Java series, we are going to read today about Java variables. So, what does it means to be a Java variable? What does it means to be variable? What does it means to be variable? A variable is a container which holds the value while the Java program is executed. That means कि जावा वेरिएबल एक ऐसा कंटेनर है जो कि वैल्यू स्टोर करता है दैट मीन्स उसके अंदर वैल्यू स्टोर कर सकते हैं एक ऐसा कंटेनर अगर हम ये देखें एक बॉक्स के जैसा अवेलेबल रहेगा और इसके अंदर हम क्या डालेंगे एक वैल्यू डालेंगे तो ये जो कंटेनर है दैट इज कॉल्ड वेरिएबल ओके नाउ अ वेरिएबल assigned with a data types what does it means we have seen the size of variable may differ like the value which we will going to insert into this variable can be different like suppose we are writing 1 suppose we are writing 1 2 suppose we are writing 1 1 1 1 1 and 3 like this much so if you see when we have to write so much high variable that means the value of the variable is too much then we have to assign a different data types to each of the variable now if you see so Java variable is nothing. Java variable is nothing but a container. Okay? It's container. If you see, it is a container and we will assign a value. Now, in the memory, whenever we define any variable, it takes a space. Like if I will say the variable, okay, I will say the variable name. If I will keep the variable name like ch, whenever we declare this particular variable, it is going to assign a particular space in the memory. It is going to assign a particular space in a memory. That's ch. Now, the size of the memory, the size of the memory occupied this particular variable depends on the data type. Their data type like int, float, double, and so on. Like the size of the int is of 4 byte. Same goes for the float and same goes for the double like 8 byte for the double so the size differ according to the data type size differs so the size of the memory occupied by this particular variable depends on the data type we are going to use now whenever we will assign any value to this particular variable then that particular value is going to be kept inside that space which is occupied in the memory. Like suppose we are writing here the variable int ch is equals to 5. So the value is 5. Okay, and this ch is of int data type. So how much size of the space is going to need 4 byte for storing this particular value. So a variable is nothing but a container which store a value inside it. Now, variable is the name of a memory location, right? And the type of variable, if we see the type of variable, there are basically three types of variable, local, instance, and static. We will see one by one. Like if you see the type of variable, the first type of variable that is local variable. So what does it mean to be local variable? So we haven't read till now, but we have seen our first program. So class here it will suppose class name will be name. I am writing here the name, okay, and anything. Now any method, void method, any method I have created. So the what is local variable? Local variable is nothing but a variable which is defined and declared inside a method. That means a variable which is defined inside that variable is called local variable inside a method. Inside a method, a variable which is declared is called local variable. And other part of the class do not know about this particular variable until they will call this method and they then call the variable. That means outside world will not know about this variable until and unless this method will allow them. Okay. Now coming to the part of another variable, that's no. A variable declared inside the body of the method is called a local variable, and you can use this variable only within that method. That means we have to be declared, and the working of the method is only within that method. And the other methods in the class aren't even aware that the variable exists. And a local variable cannot be defined with static keyword. Okay. Now coming to the another part of the variable, that is second one. That's called instance variable. So what does it means to be instance variable? What does it means to be instance variable? A variable which is declared inside a class, okay, inside a class, which is declared inside a class, but outside a method is called instance variable. Okay, instance variable. And this variable, in this particular variable belongs to a particular object. That means whenever we create any object, that particular class, that so the variable belongs to that particular object. Okay. Now a variable declared inside the class but outside the body of the method is called an instance variable, and it is not declared as static. Okay. Now we will see what is static. Now it is called an instance variable because its value is instance specific and is not shared among instances. That's why I say that the variable belongs to particular objects. It is different for the different objects. Okay, so it belongs to a particular instance. It is not shared between uh, other objects of the classes. Now, looking for the third type of variable, if we see the third type of variable, if we see so, then that's nothing but a static variable. The third type of variable is static variable. Static variable. So what does it means to be static variable? A variable inside a class, a variable inside a class, outside of a method, outside of a method, outside of a method, but having a static keyword, having a static keyword. That's called static variable. Okay. Having a static keyword is called static variable. So what is the difference between static variable and instance variable? So you see, static variables belongs to the class. This particular static variable, it belongs to the class instead of belonging to objects. So this static variable can be shared with each and every objects, whatever objects we will create from class of class. So variable that is declared static is called static variable, and it cannot be local, as I have already said. You can create a single copy of a static variable and share it among all the instances of the class. And memory allocation for static variable happen only once when the class is loaded in the memory. So the memory allocated to this particular variable is only once. It is only once allocated because it is only created once and it can be shared among all the objects. But if you see to the instance variable, every time we create an object, a new memory is allocated to this instance variable because new object is going to be created. Okay, so new object is going to be created, so every time its new memory is going to be allocated to this particular variable. So that's the other three one. Now, if you see in the example, here the public class A, static int m100, boolean hm true, void method int m90, and public static int data is equal to 50. You see the first type of variable is local variable. A variable inside a particular method is called local variable. Okay, as you see here, two methods and both have different local variables. Now, a variable which is inside a class but outside a method is called instance variable. see Boolean HM true is equals to instant variable, and the third type of the variable is called static variable. That is, when you see static int m is equals to 100, it is called static variable. So in this particular stuff, you see this static variable takes only memory once. It takes memory only once, and that particular instance variable, it takes memory every time object is created. Every time an object is created, it takes a memory, but static variable only takes memory only once whenever a class is called. Now going to the part local variable, it takes memory only when the method is called. So these are the three types of variable we read in Java. That's all for today. We will see you in the next video.